Welcome, welcome, welcome. We're going to get started here in just a little bit. We are going to get started here in a little bit. Welcome, guests and community members. I am Santos. I'm going to be your host here for about 30 to 45 minutes. This is your podcast, your solution. So welcome once again, guests and community members. Looks like we're broadcasting via Facebook. Actually, not Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and YouTube. So get ready to rock and roll. Get in. Put your seatbelt on. Make sure that you're strapped in. Turn down all your items that may distract you. And remember to grab a pen. Okay, especially if you haven't invited a friend. Grab a pen, grab some notes. I'm inviting you to find your solution and your step to take action. Hey, Jim, welcome. It's time. Yes, and it looks like Mark Cameroon left a message here. He's going back after 3 years. He's got to go to sleep tonight by 9:30 so he can get up at 6 a.m. Well, we hope you get some much needed shut-eye, my friend. We'll miss you for a little bit. Anyhow, this broadcast is going to go fairly quick. I can tell you right now. Hopefully Jim will be meeting us on the broadcast here. We're just going to do, actually, I'm going to see if there's you here on the other side that you have a question for me. You have something that you want to discuss on this broadcast. As I mentioned earlier, we're broadcasting via LinkedIn, YouTube, and Twitter. So if you have a question, you're going to have to send it to me through YouTube. Other than that, we are going to be looking at some reminders about this industry that we're involved in, this gambling industry. I say this often, that your good life is going to come out of a good series of good, constant, positive reminders. Is it important for us to know what's really going on in this industry? Or should we just forget about it and just go on and live our lives like no care? We got a proverb coming up. So again, Ellie, welcome. Keith, welcome. I got involved with it after a traumatic event. Typically could happen that way. We have quite an audience today. I don't know where you're coming from, but I want to welcome you. If you can get on, come on through YouTube. If you have a question, you have a concern, you have an observation, you got something, anything. Again, we're going to be here 30 to 45 minutes. Time is going to go by very quick. So thank you guys. If you got a question, feel free. Good evening, Keith. And he says, do you feel better? I have been doing it a year, and although I don't regret it, I have to stop now. Yes. Hey, Lee, welcome. All the way from the UK. By the way, I'm going to be reading a little bit of statistics of what's happening in the gambling world. For instance, did you know that youngsters are gambling as young as 10 years of age? 10 years old or 10 years young are already starting gambling. And the UK is one of the worst places. The UK, Kenya, we're going to be discussing that in a little bit. I'll just be sharing some info. But again, I'm willing to take your question. If you got a question, whatever it might be, let's dig into this time that we have, and let's prepare for Monday. Let's prepare for this week. Let's get excited. The challenge is on. The challenge is on. Let me see who else. So if you have a question, feel free. Everything you want by gambling, you can have by not gambling. Exactly. He says, when was the last time? Let me see. The last time I gambled was today. I took a gamble on coming here in front of this broadcast, this international broadcast. In a sense, that was a gamble. For me, it's been a couple years now. I don't keep track of how long. I just keep track of every day. I'm not doing it, and it's permanent. That's what I really focus on more than anything today. I'm getting it through. I'm getting it done today, right? Presently, where I'm at. That's my focus. And I'm focused on winning all the way to the end. It's a challenge to me personally. I don't know about anybody else, but I know about myself here. And that's the goal that I want to be able to help support you with. Imagine no more gambling, no more having to deal with temptation or triggers. All of that is just a thing of the past. Doesn't bother you anymore. That's my goal, to be able to transfer that energy, And man, the day that that energy begins to start transferring, people are going to pop up like mushrooms here and there. Boop, boop, I'm free. Boop, boop, I'm free. Boop, boop, I'm free. I'm free. I'm free. I'm free. That's what I'm looking forward to. So, Jim, are you with us? Ellie says you're amazing. I've had a lot of help. Thank you. Appreciate the comments. How much were you gambling a week? Me personally, geez, I was gambling several $1,000s a month. Several thousands of dollars a month. Yes, that's what I was gambling. All right, I'm going to get into a proverb because time is going by very quickly. And then I'm going to get into some statistics here. And Jim, if you want to join us, you can. I'm going to put you on the camera, but I'm going to bring up some statistics here in just a minute. Just reminders of where we are all at, because again, out of sight, out of mind makes it so convenient for you on the other side to continue gambling, doesn't it? If the dangers and the consequences of our actions are not completely understood, or if they're not visible, we can easily continue down the same path. You can easily continue down the same path. And I don't know about you, but I definitely don't want to continue down the same path. I don't want to continue down the same path. Hey, Hamo. Santos, how can you help me? Hamo, well, you're here. I'm glad that you're here. You have a question you want to ask. There's many tools. There's a support system. That's how I can support you. I can tell you that. That's a guarantee. There's an environment, there's a system, there's a program to at least get you going in the right direction. There's also coaching available if you're the person that's willing to invest and you want that energy. You want that special energy to be able to move away from your problem as soon as possible. That's where coaching can come in for you. Again, that is an investment. That's a desire for the energy that you need, right? You got to get that energy inside you so that you can take action. You can't take action if you don't have the energy. That's where I can come in, possibly, as a coach. Podcasting, videos, the email site tech system that we have, the books, and the tools, etc. Yes, they're like a crutch. They will help, but it takes more effort. It takes more work to use these tools than it does to have a coach by your side, somebody that you're co-partnering with, that's there for you. You know what I mean? You're going to meet with this person This person is going to help you stay motivated. This person is going to help you stay on track. This individual is going to pour himself, his energy or her energy into you so that you have a greater fighting chance. And for some of you that are on here watching me on this broadcast, that is probably the only solution that you may have, is to find a coach and pay. Yes, pay a coach so that you can get what he or she has. Well, Santos, I don't want to pay because I'm using all my money for the casino. Well, think about this. A coach can help you double and triple your finances in just a little bit of matter of time, because that coach, whether female or male, as long as they're a good coach, they're helping you transform your behavior. Am I trying to sell you on coach here? You bet I am. You bet I am. So stay with me here, Hamill. Stay with me. Stay with us. I'm going to read the proverb real quick, and then I'm going to look at your text. I'm going to see what you guys got going on here. And then we're going to look at some statistics, and we're going to bring Jim on, and Jim can help us make some clarity here. Revelation chapter 3, verse 14. Please pay attention. Listen, folks, we're in the dilemma that we're in because of a lack of communication and because of a lack of not listening, not paying attention. You know, you might think, well, Santos, this program is freaking boring. I come here for 10 or 15 minutes, but it's boring. Well, you know what's boring? I'll tell you what's boring. Got me out of gambling. That stuff that's boring got me out of gambling, got me free from gambling, turned my life around, and it's helping me double and triple my finances. It's a choice. It's a choice, my friends. Revelation chapter 3, verse 14. Let's get into this. And to the angel of the church of the Laodiceans write, these things saith the Amen, the faithful and the true witness, the beginning of the creation of God. I know thy works, that thou art neither cold nor hot. I would thou wert cold or hot. So then, because thou art lukewarm and neither cold nor hot, I will spew thee out of my mouth. Wow. Because thou sayest, I am rich and increased with goods and have need of nothing. I don't have need of nothing. I don't need anybody in my life. I don't need no plans. I don't need no systems. I don't have a need for anything. And knowest not that thou art wretched and miserable and poor. Wow. This is straight up language right here. And blind and naked. I counsel thee to buy of me gold tried in the fire, that thou mayest be rich, and white raiment, that thou mayest be clothed, and that thou shame of thy nakedness do not appear, and thou anoint thine eyes with eye salve, that thou mayest see. And as many as I love, I rebuke and chasten. Be zealous, therefore, and repent. Turn away from those things. Just get away from those things. Behold, I stand at the door and knock. If any man hear my voice and open the door, will come into him, and I will sup with him, and he with me. To him that overcometh will I grant to sit with me in my throne, even as I overcame and am sat down with my Father in his throne. Now, there's a lot of spiritual language in there. A lot of spiritual language. I'm not here to try to give you the interpretation of all that. Hopefully God in his mercies can help you understand some of this. But one thing that I can gather is that word right, W-R-I-T-E. Whenever I read the scriptures, whenever I read a proverb, it always reminds me that I need to be writing somewhere. I need to be having a direction somewhere. So it needs to be in a log. It needs to be in a journal of some kind. Anyhow, that is the proverb, and we're getting ready to, I'm going to, Jim, you're being very patient. We're going to bring Jim on. There are some statistics that I want to share with you, though, okay, just a little bit. You know, I used to think that the United States was the biggest problem when it came to gambling. I used to think that. It's not the United States. The United States is not number one when it comes to gambling problems, suicide and depression, and losses of business. You might be shocked on what I'm about to share with you. Hey, Keith, once again, thank you. Thank you for that. Right now, I'm out of the fog of gambling thanks to you. I will say clearly I was out of control. But now I'm out fighting. That's a great job. Like to hear that. Ray says gambling is a big waste of time and money. There is no benefit you get from gambling. The only people who benefit are the rich who open the casino. Yes. So, Hamo, once again, stick around. Listen, you can send me an email if you need something, right? And we can communicate. The problem is the challenge. The challenge is taking action. That's the challenge, is taking action. We all want freedom. We all want, at least most people want freedom. We all want better, right? At least most people want better. How do you get yourself to take action? Because again, the statistics are stacked up against the gambler. I'm about to show you some things here in a little bit. So thank you. And by the way, if we're supporting you, if I'm supporting you in some way, be sure to support this mission. Thank you once again, Keith, right now. Thank you once again. Thank you. Let me see. I'm going to bring Jim on, and I'm going to let Jim share a little bit here. Hey, Jim, welcome.
Hi,
Tucson, Arizona.
Santos. How's it going?
It's going super fantastic, terrific, and over the top, my man. Yeah, I've got some statistics I'm going to be sharing here, so I might knock you off the screen, but I want you to share a little bit. And, from your experience, obviously, you're not a big time gambler. You gambled some things in your life, right? You've had some experience in that arena of gambling, winning and losing.
Oh, yeah.
But in this program, we're just doing some reminders. Reminding ourselves of what we're up against here. What is the gambler really up against? What about our children? I mentioned this earlier. 10-year-olds gambling. 10-year-old. Can you imagine if a bunch of more 10-year-olds just popped up here and there, and they're popping up, 10-year-olds. That's, I think, one of the youngest ages that I was reading about. Um, what do you think about that?
Yeah, they're trying to start them early. They're trying to get those good feelings. I'm sure. They want, all the. Oh, I think about Chuck E. Cheese. I think about these arcades. I think about these. I mean, it's like shoot. This looks like Las Vegas.
Yeah.
You put these tokens in, right? You get these prizes, right? They're just grooming those kids. You know, I guess that's old fashioned. They're doing those games, Candy Crush, and all those other stuff.
Yeah.
So they're really just kind of moving from Chuck E. Cheese into the Candy Crush into the online casino stuff, I'm sure. So they're really trying to, groom these kids, to, jack up their
Exactly.
dopamines, right? And then when they start making their money when they're, getting older, they'll just transition right into the trap, right into the trap.
Hey, Martha. Exactly. Exactly. The bait, and the thing is, a lot of these games, they're free. I was reading up. Kenya, Africa has a major problem with young children. What is it? 15, 14, 13-year-olds gambling early in the mornings in their stores. Kenya has a huge problem right now. And I mean, the country, like they say, the governments are stepping in to do something about these situations because they're getting really bad. We're talking about children with addictions, with going through withdrawals, adults going through withdrawals when they try to get off this stuff. It's pretty amazing. But they give you free stuff. You win free, right? They have all these apps and these little games where you can play them completely for free, and you win stuff. They prime the mind, right? You're winning. I mean, if you go to a game and you don't have to put any money and you're winning, man, if I'm winning for free, imagine if I put some money into this thing. Now I'm going to get some real prizes. So the deception begins.
Yeah.
What happens? You start investing money now into the thing. Huh? The losses aren't the losses are not virtual anymore. You know what I mean? So now you begin to chase the loss. In fact, Jim, I don't know, you might be aware of this, that I've read this and I've shared this many times, that it doesn't even matter once you get once that dopamine uh, once that dopamine receptor is working full time, it doesn't matter whether you're winning money or you're losing money. You're just in front of the machine because you need to be there.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, Santos. I was writing some of these notes. We were talking about gambling, and I wrote down, if you don't know what you're doing, right? Um, basically, you're going to be making a decision, and you're going to be magnifying the term of gambling if you don't know what you're doing. And it really, I mean, what's happening in this situation? There's risks and rewards, right? There's risk and rewards. When you don't know what you're doing with your life, when you don't know yourself, when you don't know what the world is doing to you, right? You're
Mhm.
gambling, man. And the odds are going to be stacked against you. More risk against you, less reward. Okay, I mean, I think that can be emphasized in all sorts of things in life. Gambling, I mean, it's like, if you don't, if you, if you don't know yourself, if you don't know the effects of dopamine, if you don't know why you're going to the casino or why you're doing that bad activity, right? You are increasing the odds for you to just get destroyed, right?
Yeah.
Now, how do you? I mean, it's like, the deal is putting the odds in your favor, right? So where does that come? You got to get the tools, right? The tools. What are these tools? It's like when you make a decision, when you it's like when you gamble, you don't know what you're doing. I mean, I think about the stock market. I think about, everyone getting pumped up into, get on board, it's going up, right? People love to see that green, you know, and if you don't know what you're doing in the stock market, you could just get your legs cut from underneath you and everything goes down. You lose all your money. I mean, it's like, I was just listening to a YouTuber just talks about finance. He said, you know, a lot of the bears, the people who are shorting the market recently, they got destroyed because the market went up. The market
Yeah.
went up. And so, well, wait a minute. I thought we were in a recession. Oh, go short, put some puts on your options, just sell short, and then all of a sudden you lose all your money because you didn't know what the heck you were doing. You didn't have the tools. You didn't have the tools. So when you go into life, you make a decision, you're put in the arena. You're put in the arena. And what's happening in the arena? It's chaos, man. There's good things and then there's bad things, man. And if you don't have the tools, those bad things are going to just swarm you and beat you down, hold
Yeah.
you down, take your money, you know? I mean, it's
And,
really bad when you're not prepared for life. I mean, and if you go
yeah.
into life without any kind of preparation, right? Without any tools, I mean, you're
Ma-
magnifying the term gambling, and the risks are not in your favor, or the rewards are not in your favor. The
yeah.
risks are
Definitely.
high. Yeah.
And maybe
So
that's why I believe God created this program here so we can meet on Sundays. Let me share some. Let me share. Thank you for sharing that, Jim. I'm going to cut you off the screen for just a moment here, but I want to share some statistics here so that guests and community members, you can see what you're up against. Okay, you can actually see what our children are up against. Let me show you a few statistics here. I'm going to go off the screen here. I'm going to remove Jim for just a minute. And let me see. Where can I go here with this one? Can I bring it up? Yeah, let me see. Here is, let me see if you can see this. I'm going to try to bring it up. Yeah. Online gambling habit swallowing Kenya's youth. Listen to that. Swallowing Kenya's youth. Online sports betting in Africa is worth billions of pounds every year. The boom is being fed by faster internet. Faster internet. Listen to that, where we're going. Cheaper phones. Phones are everywhere around the world today. Little children, even babies, have these phones. And the love of the English Premier League. But there is a fear that children are being sucked into a cycle of betting, debt, and poverty. Imagine this in Kenya. One government minister called this a curse on youth. Curse on youth. So they've got these programs. They want to make an impact. This is just one little area that I found here. Here's another one. Here's another one. Hopefully you guys can see this. The countries that gamble the most. Listen to this. Singapore, and I'm going to go down here real quick so you can see these. United States is not even in the first 10. Isn't that something? Countries that gamble the most. And of course, this was a study that was done a few years back. Spain, Greece, Norway, Hong Kong, Italy, Finland. They used to be able to gamble at very, very young ages, and they've gotten so bad there, I believe in Ireland or in Finland, both of these places, that they've had to step in and bring the age up. Australia. Yeah, in Finland, 41% of the adult population in Finland gambles weekly. 41%. Look at this, Canada. Over 75% of Canadian adults have been involved in at least one form of gambling. The highest number of gamblers in the country comes from Saskatchewan. The province has gambling revenue of $841 per person above the age of 18 years of age. Lottery and scratch tickets here. Ireland, back in 1956. So we've got Singapore. The opening of casinos in Singapore created worries in the country, with the majority fearing addictions and losses. The government is discouraging gambling by the locals by imposing an entry fee of $81 for locals who wish to enter the casino. So these are just a few of the statistics. Listen to this. Young people in gambling in numbers. I don't know. Can you see these? Oh, I'm sorry. I think I've gotten a little bit out of, let me see here. Some of these you couldn't see. Let me do one more here. Let me see. Is this one coming on? Let me see. Remove. Stop screen there. Share. One more. I'm going to do one more just to show you. Chrome tab. The risks. The children. Risks of children gambling. And young people in gambling in numbers here. Let's just take a quick look at that real quick. Oops, let me get this out of here. 36% of young people aged 11 to 16 spent their own money on gambling in the past year. Now, I don't know when this, it looks like 2019. 11% spent money on gambling activities in the past week, spending an average of €17. 12% have played online, gambling style. 52% have heard of in-game items, and 44% of those paid money to open loot boxes to get them. 69, and it goes on, 50% said someone had spoken to them about the problems of gambling. So our children are being impacted here. Let me get out of here, bring Jim back on. Are you there, Jim?
Yes.
He's from Brazil. Okay. Hey, abstraction. So, looking at these statistics, another thing that I want to mention here is the migraine. headache, the acid reflux, the loss of weight, excessive health concerns because of being caught up and not properly focused on taking care of yourself. And again, little by little, it's the seed that we're planting. Next, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years down the road, we're ruined. You're ruined because of these little seeds that have been planted. I'm telling you, Jim, we're headed for a lot of problems if we don't get a handle on this, especially if we have a family and you're a gambler and you have children. You're setting yourself up and your family up for something down the road. And I'm just warning folks, I can't tell you what to do with your children, but if you're having problems at home with gambling, rest assured, your children are going to have problems also. Maybe not with gambling, but with other issues.
Santos, you're showing those children getting sucked, and you're talking about the information, faster speeds and data, information spreading. It made me think about the office supply company called Staples.
Yeah. Oh, what happened? Are you there? You froze up, Jim. What happened there? Wow, we've got pretty big audience today. Thank you guys. By the way, time is going by very quickly. For some reason, he came off. I'm gonna do this because I want to, let me see. Stop screen. Jim's gonna come back on, but I want to share this, Jim, I'm gonna have you back on here in just a minute. Let's see, Chrome tab. I'm not sure if I shared this, but I wanted you to see this. Important for us to see. Countries that gamble the most. You can see that. Let me get on this, the gambling. Countries that gamble the most. I thought it was the United States, but no, the United States isn't even in here in this number. It's a little bit higher. So all of these, what is it? I don't like to call them third world countries. Canada is part of the U.S., but a lot of these countries, look at this. And yeah, so again, I'm not going to go over this. Let me get back here. Jim's back. You guys are getting the message here. And again, your good life is going to come out of a good series of good, constant, positive reminders. The more that you understand or the more that you hear about the loss and the dangers, the better off you're going to be. Santos, that's negative. Well, it's negative, but again, if you want out, if you want freedom, you have to be willing to face the facts. You got to be willing to feel a little bit of the pain. Like was it the frog? I think you mentioned that one time, Jim. You mentioned the frog that was being boiled in water.
Little by little. Just cranking the temperature up a little bit more, right?
Next thing you know, he's caught in the trap. You get feeling nice and warm and that water is comfortable.
Yeah.
Once you're tired, you don't even know where you're at anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I think that was a story. But there was another story about a frog that got thrown in milk, wasn't it? Or butter?
Oh, yes. Yes.
He kept fighting. Finally, it turned real thick. Mm-hmm. It got so thick for him. You would think, man, the thickness is going to make it worse. No, the thickness allowed him to get out of it. So, it's interesting. You might be in a serious problem right now. You might be in the thick of it. It might even be getting thicker. And it's the time for you to begin stepping out of it. It's giving you the opportunity to step out of it before it gets so thick that it drowns you.
that kind of ties into what I was talking about. It's like these kids getting sucked into gambling. You know, I just think of it as like a worldwide phenomenon where everyone wants things easy, right? The easy button from Staples. I want it easy, easy terms, easy financing, easy this. I don't want to do it. I want someone else to do it, you know?
Yeah.
And we see all these people, luxury, living large, living super rich on Facebook, on YouTube, very glamorous. It's like, "Oh, I want that. I want that." But I don't want to. I don't want to work for this stuff. You know, look, that they must have got it easy. How can I get things easy? Well, I'm just gonna jump into something that I don't know what the heck I understand. I'm gonna jump in because I can make a lot of money off of it. Yeah, yeah. So I'm gonna jump into something I don't know. Whatever it is. Maybe it's a high interest loan to buy a house or a car, right? Maybe it's a payday, maybe it's gambling, you know? Maybe it's a business, right?
Yeah.
I'm just going to jump in because I want to get rich. I want to live like these people, right? You jump in without any kind of skills. You don't understand it takes hard work, it takes discipline. You got to know what you're doing, right? That's what I was talking about. Jumping in, and what
Yeah.
happens? You get sucked in. You get sucked in, and you can lose everything. You're gambling, man. And that frog or that mouse, right? Those two mice that was thrown in the milk, right?
Yeah.
Who was able to get out? The one that had the strength, right? The ability, right? Those people who don't have any kind of skill, no understanding, no kind of work ethic, none of that, they will drown because they don't know what to do. They don't
Yeah.
have the ability, they don't have the capability, right? And that's unfortunate with this world right now. I think about the United States, right? I mean, we're a service nation, right? We don't know how to make anything anymore. We don't know how to grow crops. We don't know how to do anything. We say, "Oh, I want it easy. I would just go to Walmart, get my groceries. I want it easy."
Yeah.
Right?
We're in
But now
trouble.
you don't now we don't have any skills to do anything. We don't even have the skills of persevering to take some hard hits and get up and try again because we've
We
been
need
conditioned,
revival.
right? And now we're getting into the situation where victims, oh, if I call myself a victim, someone's going to help me. Someone's going to help me if I just call myself a victim. Instead of, figuring the thing out, it's easier actually to be a victim and say, "Oh, you know what? Eh, I can't get ahead because of my race. I've been beaten up. I've been suppressed. It's their fault. It's not my fault. It's their fault, right? So I'm not going to take any responsibility for my life. It's their fault. It's their fault. And I deserve something. I deserve. It's like that entitlement deal, right? Where we want things easy. We want things easy. We want things, you know, quickly, right? And we
That's the
lost that
perception.
yeah, that importance. I'm talking to myself,
Yeah.
because I gotta get going. I gotta go and understand, that look,
Exactly.
you know, life, if you want the good stuff, right? That good fruit on the top of the tree, you gotta reach. It's not gonna be handed to you, right? You gotta put
No,
the effort.
you got to have a plan. You got to,
Right.
today more than ever, you got to have a plan. Listen, if you don't have a plan, you're just, you're basically you're kind of working somebody else's plan.
That's right.
And even if your plan seems all muddied up, if it seems dark, if it seems like your plan's like 20 years away, that's what you're thinking in your mind. It's your plan. At least you got a plan. You got to have something that you believe in. I'll tell you what, listen to these statistics. And I know from experience, the average gambler will end up with several repossessions in his lifetime, several repo sessions, right? Chapter 7, bankruptcies. There's different types. 13, there's Chapter 7, bankruptcies. At least 2 of them in his lifetime. The average problem gambler. He will ruin his credit to nothing. Okay. Tends to become an alcoholic. A gambler, problem gambler, will become an alcoholic, or has a high potential to become another kind of addicted to something else. This is what happens to the average gambler. Goes through at least 1 or 2 divorce. They divorce. They go through at least 1 or 2 divorces in their lifetime. And they can get awfully sick through depression. You can get awfully sick. You know, you may not lose all your money, but if you lose your health, what do you got? You can have all the money. You know, it's funny how it is that we won't take vitamins, we won't take amino acids, we won't drink a lot of healthy water when we feel good. But when you're sick and you're lying in bed and your throat hurts really bad and you can't breathe, you dish out any kind of money to get rid of that thing immediately. You would. If you had $1,000 and you can pay that to get rid of that cold immediately, instantly, you would pay it. You would pay it. Anyone would. And yet we're so deceived into living the life that we're living that is actually making us sick. And gambler, I'm going to tell you straightforward, if you're living a life of gambling and you're playing around and you know that it's hurting you, you know that something's wrong, you're entering into that phase. It's no longer a stage. It's considered a lifestyle. And I don't know about you, but I don't like that anymore. I don't want to ever see that in my life. I'm not going to see it. I'm not going to see it because I'm decreeing it over myself. If I say, well, I don't want to see that ever again, there's a chance that I'm saying that might happen. But if I'm telling myself I'm not going to let that happen, I'm not going to see that ever again, I'm locking that vision in my mind. I'm locking it in with my own words. I've talked about this before, mind, mouth, power, congruency. If you don't lock it in, you're going to be talking language that's going to keep you in a rut. Language is going to keep you in a little hut because language will keep you there. Oh, I can't do this, man. I tried. I wish, man, I could have. I should have. No, I can, I will, I am, I do. I can, I will, I am, I do. That's the language that you have to have. I don't care if you don't know the direction, but you've got a step forward. I can, I will, I do. Investigate, step into a little bit more. You're looking for a job. We had a program last weekend, I believe. It was last weekend. We talked about work. We talked about finding work and business ideas and those kinds of things. So it would be a good program to watch, Hamill, if you're looking to get inspired to find a job or to do something, because we all have the ability to do great things. You do too. Even if you're a problem gambler, you still have the ability to do something great. You just got to turn on the light, right? You can't see in the darkness. You got to get that light on. How are you going to get that light on? Being here on Sundays is part of that program. It'll help. Are you going to get the light because I'm so great, or because Jim is good, or because Jim is a good teacher? No, you're going to get it because you want it, and you're coming into an environment that produces. Right? We got to work. I got to work on me. Jim has to work on himself too, man. I fail every day. I'll stand up here in front of the whole world and say I fail every single day. I fail. But you know what? I recognize that failure is a result. And as long as I keep going forward, as long as I look at that result, I can make tiny changes. If I get discouraged, man, I'm failing. I feel like a failure. Man, I tried this and that. People were laughing at me. They said, yeah, see, you tried and all this. And next thing you know, you quit on yourself. No, don't quit. Keep going. Keep going. Keep coming back on Sundays. Keep watching the videos. If you've gotten a book, if you've gotten one of my books, get into it. Read it. Study it. Scratch the, change the text if you need to you're reading something out of my book and you get an idea. Cross that text out and put your idea in there. That's your tool. It's your book. All right. Just don't try to publish that. Just don't try to republish it. No, I guess you can if you have my permission to do it. And Jim, you talked about this. We have the tools, we have the ability, but if we're not careful,
Yeah. I mean, like when you think about, I mean, life is a gamble. It's a big casino. You can go and say metaphorically, and and I think about like I heard that the machines, those machines, you can adjust, or the casinos can adjust the amount of, was it payout or something like that? They can determine how much, how loose it is, or how tight it is, something like that, right? Now,
well, the software, it's artificial intelligence now. So it's
uh-huh.
reading you like a book, Jim, when you're sitting
Yeah.
in front of the machine.
Yeah, so I mean it's like I mean, just imagine yourself, as the person who has the ability to finagle, mess around, to adjust that machine to put the odds in your favor. Okay. I think in gambling, you know, the risks that we take, we have to understand what the risks are in life in our decisions. We have to look at the risks and we have to look at the rewards. It's like if a person decides, okay, to to begin the journey of fighting their addictions, right? Their problem gambling, alcohol, whatever it is, all right? It's important to understand what are you risking when you attempt this, okay? And you were just putting that, you're just talking about that. If I attempt this, I could fail, right? That's a risk right there. I can fall on my face. I could relapse. I could waste my time. I could look foolish in front of other people. Those are some risks right there. What are the rewards, right? Well, I can be free of my addictive behavior. I could be free. Now, if we understand that, yeah, we could fall on our face, we can get messed up, right? How can we overcome those risks or minimize that? It's understand that once you make a decision, right, you're going to be face to face with a lot of these things, the good and the bad, right? Falling on your face or succeeding, right?
Results.
When you decide to move in that direction, it's time to arm yourself, right, with the tools, the weapons, to fight off those risks, right, and increase the chances of you getting those rewards, right? I think understanding that, yeah, I can screw up, but having the understanding that, yeah, if I screw up, get up again. I know other people who messed up. They picked themselves up. They did it another way. What did they do? They learned. They journaled. They reflected on what they did. Right? It's like, oh, okay. It's like, yeah, okay. I understand. It's going to be a hard journey. It's going to be a hard fight. I could fall on my face, right? But I'm going to prepare my mind for that. I'm going to be ready for those situations. And when they come, I'll be ready for them. Yeah. I understand. I understand this fight that I'm going to be in. You see, that's preparing yourself, right, for the battle to get you
Yeah.
get you ready to increase, the odds, put it in your favor, right? Put it in your favor, right?
Yeah,
So
because
it's
the
the
odds are stacked against you. The
right. The
odds are
odds are
stacked
yeah.
against you.
The
And
odds are stacked
it,
against you. Yeah.
it doesn't take a lot either to move in the right direction. It doesn't take a lot. It takes just a little bit. For somebody, it might just be a journal. For somebody else, it might be reading a book 3 or 4 times. For somebody else, it may be coaching. By the way, um, this is who I personally coach. I want to share this because there might be somebody here that might be interested in coaching, and you might be able to afford coaching. Um, Basically, number one, you're ready to make a change. This is who I would coach and who I do coach. You're ready to make a change. You recognize the loss. You've recognized the loss. You've recognized the loss and you want to end it. you want to end it. You want energy to replace and end it. You don't have the current energy to end it and replace it, but that's what you want. That's what coaching would where coaching would come in. Uh, and why could I do this? Why could I transfer energy? Because I'm doing it. It's valuable energy that I transfer, and that energy can only be transferred through relationship building. Coaching is relationship building. This isn't really relationship building. This is a podcast. Well, in a sense, it is, but it's not like personal coaching. So if you're here and you're struggling and you have the means to invest in yourself, hit me up. Hit me up for some coaching. I believe it'll be the greatest experience that you'll have uh, recently. Because think about it. You're going to be multiplying your income in a short matter of time. Whatever investment you invest into our coaching, you're going to multiply that in just a matter of time, short time. Not only will you multiply your finances, but you're going to multiply your your confidence inside yourself will begin to grow very quick. Why? Santos, how can it happen? Well, number one, you're going to be in a no judgment zone, one hour a week. Okay. You're going to be involved with somebody that's already doing it, that's got a mindset way out there, you know. And it's kind of hard to say, well, if you get close to somebody like that, nothing's going to happen. Oh, you bet something's going to happen. So anyways, that's why I do coaching. That's what I offer. Other than that, there's tools. Obviously, there's a community where you can get free material, some free tools, an email called SciTech, stay in touch email communication. I'm doing my best to offer you on the other side uh, what you may not be able to get somewhere else. So with that said, my call to action is really for you. Let me see, where is my call to action here? My call to action is for you to think about this. Where is the future? Where are we going? And Jim, you could think about this too here. Where are we going when it comes to self-education? Where is it? Where is that going to be done? And how is it going to be done? How is change going to be made in people's lives going forward? Is it going to be the same traditional way that we're still doing things? Or is there going to be a little bit more of advancements in technology that's going to help us get there quicker? Kind of interesting. You know, I think about this. Where's the problem gambler? How is the gambler or the person that has a bad addiction, how's he going to get help in the next 3 to 5 years? Where's that help going to be? Is it going to be the same as it is now, or is it going to be different? That's what I'm thinking about, man. How can I get ahead of the game to help you on the other side? Because I'm already there. And I don't need any more help for myself because I'm already there. I'm already doing it. So now I got to think about the tools, the technology, the means to be able to get things done faster to help you on the other side. Because again, we all want convenience, Jim. You know, that's the truth. We want it easier. Can we make transformation a little bit easier? Can we make change, desiring change and taking action? Can we make it a little bit easier? Could I do that as a life coach? That's my challenge. Anyhow, that's all I have to say. I want to thank all of you guys. I hope that these reminders will serve a purpose in your life today, possibly. I know there's, you know, at least one person in here. Hamo, he's wanting help. So again, we're here for you. I know your mind is going in different directions because it's just the way it is, right? It's hard to focus. You got all this information. Where do you start? Where could you start? You got to find one step, one action step. Grab a journal. Grab a journal and figure out your first step. Write it out and then look at it. So what do you do after you look at it? You look at it again. Well, I still didn't get nothing. Well, look at it again until it begins to speak to you. Oh, yeah, okay, here's an idea from that one idea. And next thing you know, you've got a plan going. Now, if you can't do this by yourself, find somebody to help you. Find someone that's dedicated, that has accountability and integrity to help you, because you can't do this half-heartedly. It's not going to work, especially if you've got an issue with an addiction. You don't want to play with that stuff. You end up sick. You can end up committing suicide. The mind plays games. You don't want to go there. So that's why you're here. With that said, my friends, I really appreciate all of you guys. I'll give Jim the last words here. Keith, Laura, Hamill, Eric, thank you. And let me see, Mark, Abstraction. There was quite a few guys. Wow, we've had up to 18 visitors on this program tonight. That's pretty good for a Sunday. And let me see who else is on here. Martha. Yes, Martha, welcome. I missed you there, Martha. Hope that you're doing well. You know where I'm at, Martha. You can reach out to me. Again, we're here to help. Thank you for the contribution. My friends, I know I do ask. Listen, if I support you, if we support you, if this mission supports you, support this mission. I believe you'll find it in your heart to support this mission. Why not, right? Only if you're being supported. Financial, I have to pay people to do things for me. So your donations, your contributions come in handy, and I appreciate all of it. I don't care if it's $1, $5, or 1,000. We haven't had 1,000 yet. Maybe one of these days. So Lee Wilcox here. I missed you, Lee. There is absolutely no upside to gambling. Yes. Ellie. All right. So Jim, you want to share some last words there?
So when we're talking about, journaling, is I think probably a really important step, to arm yourself with the tools necessary to make those right decisions, right? But when you journal, I think it's very important to learn about yourself. I think that is probably the most important set of tools that you can arm yourself with, knowing yourself, right? Knowing your behaviors, knowing your emotions, knowing where all this stuff came from, right? And also forgive yourself too. If you screwed up, you got to be able to forgive yourself as well.
Yeah.
We're all human and we screw up, we make mistakes, but you know what? We're in the process of getting better,
Exactly.
So yes, I mean, to win, I guess you can say, at the casino of life, right? You want to be prepared. You want to put the odds in your favor. So pick up that journal, write down, and think about yourself. Think about, everything about you. Figure out how you tick, so that you can start making a plan,
And that starts today. That starts right now. And it doesn't start next week. It starts today. At least if we don't make it to the end of the week, we die trying. We died trying. You didn't die in vain. So with that said, my friends, guests, and community members, remember to Soldierscribe if you're not Soldierscribe to this mission. Remember to share a video or two if you find it worthy of your time, if you feel like you're being supported. Remember, there's 10 and 11-year-olds out there that are struggling also, getting caught up in this trap. So my goal is to help reach a lot of these young people before they get older. And with that said, we're going to be back here on Sunday. Once again, we'll be back here at 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We may open up another podcast possibly during the week. I may, depending on how this program goes. It seems to be going very well. If those of you respond and you say, hey, Santos, we could use another podcast. But really, we want to open up the podcast to help people transform and change. I don't want to just open up a podcast just to talk and give information. That's not what I want to do. I want to be able to see you on the other side progress and change. I want to get an email. I want to get emails from you saying, yeah, Santos, you know what? I've decided, I'm fighting, and here's where I'm at. Get yourself out there. Anyways, I'm not going to go over the call to action because you already heard it. With that said, I will see you next Sunday. Thank you for being here with us. And remember to make every day super, fantastic, terrific, and over the top in spite of and because of. Once again, the Jim, thank you. Tucson, Arizona.
Thank you, Santos. You have a great week.
I will. And to all of you guys, I salute.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Thanks.